Home schedule on a high note. Ross Detweiler gets another shot at his first Major League win. Cool night at the ballpark. 78 home games down and 3 to go. The Mets are in town for the first of 3. A New York Mets team that's not going anywhere. A Nationals team that desperately wants to finish on a high note before going on to Atlanta. Bob Carpenter, Rob Dibble. We talk about pitching all the time. And now as we look back over the last couple of years, this team has had as busy a starting staff as anybody in baseball.
Yes, they have. And with the numbers, you're going to see just how unstable this organization has been as far as starting in the major leagues, and you need to get more stability at the major league level as far as the starting pitching. And 42 tops the list. The Rangers, they did turn it around this year with 4 young guys, and then they got rid of Padilla, who went over to the Dodgers. But those 4 guys between them had about 110 starts. It's just developing the right guys for the situation. You look at the young starters in Florida, it's possible, but that just shows you some numbers and why one of the reasons that they've had such an unstable foundation to this organization in the last 4 years.
There is one ball club with an ERA higher than the Nats, and that would be the Orioles. And here's Ross Detweiler. Now, he seems to have come back this time from the minor leagues with a whole lot more poise and confidence, still trying to get that W, though.
Well, and that's what comes with maturity and making more starts. You look at John Lannon. When things were falling apart, he's out there. He's as solid as a rock. So I think the same thing can be said to Ross Detweiler. When I was told in spring training that this guy, when guys got on base, he got all upset. Well, he doesn't get upset anymore, and now he's starting to let his ability take over, and his last couple of starts have been pretty good. And you see the first 10 starts, go back to the minor leagues, learn a few more things, a little more seasoning, and then this is a guy that's really trying to prove he belongs here.
Mike Morse, 2 homers over the weekend. He's a versatile guy. He's big and strong. 9 RBIs and 32 at-bats, and tonight, Jim will send him to right field. Airlines. Book your next trip at Southwest.com. And by PNC Bank. PNC leading the way. Cool night at the ballpark, and it seems a little cooler than it really is because there is a healthy breeze coming right down Half Street into the ballpark from out there near the Red Porch. The Mets won 89 games a year ago. Right now they've got 67. And Jeff Francoeur has been a real find for them since coming over from Atlanta. It seems like he's doing the things the Braves wanted him to do, making contact, high average, and he's driven in 39 runs in 70 games for Atlanta. Ross Detweiler still looking for his first major league win. It'll be his 15th career appearance and his 13th career start.
Well, let's give you the PNC Bank scouting report on young Mr. Detweiler. He is only just 23. Skeet shooting. You need to shoot. He has not done this in all of his starts this year. Shoot for no walks today. So do some skeet shooting out there. Continue your evolution. It's going very nicely. And find the ingredients that it takes to be a major league starter and stick with this team next year.
Angel Pagan in the batter's box. And a high strike to start things off at 7:06. Partly cloudy skies, 75. But there's a pretty good breeze blowing, and it's going to be hard to hit a ball out of here to left field tonight. Left field, right field, flags are on the move this evening. 1-1 pitch to Pagan, who's filled in well for the Mets, and a twisting line drive to right. Mike Morse didn't have any trouble with the lights.
Amazing how the ball finds you.
It does. And there's Morse in right field next to Maxwell and Willingham. Desmond, another started shortstop tonight. Alberto Gonzalez alongside. Ryan Zimmerman, Adam Dunn, Josh Bard. Mike Morse can play anywhere. He told us he can play middle infield. The Nats haven't tried him there yet. And Detweiler throws one upstairs to Luis Castillo, who's having a fine year. He's 8th in the league in hitting at .311. And he's broken into the top 10 now in on-base average at .397. And for a man of his speed, that's a significant stat. Castillo's career batting average .292 coming into the year, so he's almost 20 points higher. 14th year in the big leagues. 11-year veteran Brian Runge has the plate. Rob Drake, Kerwin Danley, crew chief Wally Bell on the bases. Another ball to right field. If he catches all three of them, he's going to go into the dugout and somebody's going to say, wow, that ball is an ugly finder today.
Yeah,
that's what teammates like to say to each other. The Mets lead the National League in stolen bases with 118. They're basically a singles hitting team. The Nats are not, with the big guns in the middle doing the job. Nelson Figueroa, 5 or more days rest. Evidently he needs to pitch more often.
Or maybe not at this level.
Yeah, his career stats would indicate that he's a 4.8 pitcher.
Yeah.
He has 111 minor league wins. That's way too many.
35 years old. He's been on 6 different clubs. This is the 6th team.
More on him when the Nats come up.
Yep.
And here's David Wright. Up and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Wright's at .306. And David with an on-base percentage of .390. And there have been times this year when he's had to do too much in this lineup. They're wearing out Mike Morse. Morse will pick it out of the corner, and it'll be a 2-out double for David Wright, who hits the ball to right field as well as any, right-handed batter in baseball.
Well, David Wright's just going to take this offering the other way. It's a little cut fastball. You know Ross can throw in the mid-90s, so he just slugs it the other way. Doesn't try to pull it, or it would have been a ground ball to short.
But as I mentioned, David Wright has struck out 137 times this year. That indicates to me that he's tried to do too much at times because of the lack of production by the Mets offense. They're 11th in runs. They're the worst home run hitting team in baseball.
Well, I also think he's probably frustrated by the new digs. New City Field is not going to yield a lot of home runs to him, and so he's probably overswinging.
When you overswing, you're going to miss.
And all the injuries to their power guys, Beltran, Delgado out for a long time, Jose Reyes.
Off-speed breaking ball has Beltran way out ahead. He's only played 76 games this year. Hitting .330. Ross Detweiler, first time he's ever faced the Mets. That's a pretty good 0-2 fastball up and in. Mets lead the season series 10-5, but these clubs have split the 6 games here. Off speed, out to short. Desmond got a nice hop. He guns it over to Adam Dunn, and the top of the first is over. Ross Detweiler with the shortstop helping out. Maxwell comes up. This year, the numbers are pretty bad. Ball one high. Maxwell with an on-base average of .321 in 33 games this year. Ball. Oh, that's a strike. Brian Runge took his time. I thought it was up and away. Pardon me. Figueroa from Brooklyn, 6'1", 180. And a breaking ball right off the end of Justin's bat. The Nats are 9th in the league in batting average, 10th in runs, and 9th in home runs, even though they hit 3 yesterday. And it's been a real struggle here at home. A 1-5 homestand right now. Fastball up. And Jim, of course, has watched in frustrating fashion as the Nats have made 12 errors in the 6 games of this stand.
And you did some math before the game. How many more errors? Yeah, how many more errors have we made this year, Bob, than last year?
Than all of last year, 16 more, with 7 games to go. Maxwell waits for the breaking ball, and it gets David Wright. Maxwell probably thinking second base. He'll make it easily. David Wright went to the backhand side, and that ball had some severe overspin on it, and we'll see how they score it. Tough play.
This is a tough play for any third baseman. It's in between hops. He tries to backhand it, but add the speed of Maxwell to that equation.
I would score it a double. Let's see if the scorer agrees. Because David Wright, it's not like he laid back on that ball and didn't do a thing. He did charge it. He went to the backhand side, and that will be a double for Justin Maxwell. Here's Desmond, and he takes a strike.
So that ball that I felt was an error on Ryan Zimmerman yesterday, they never changed it.
You are correct.
Okay, well then you have to give that one a hit.
You know, when you think about the size of the baseball relating to the size of this playing field, how many million possibilities are out there of where the ball can go at any particular time? And David Wright just got caught in between hops as he tried to charge it, and if he lays back, it would have been a base hit anyway.
And that's, you know, a lot of people don't like AstroTurf. That's why I did like AstroTurf, because you got a more true surface, better bounces, and for me, a ground ball that was catchable to my shortstop, second baseman, etc. If they could get to it, they caught it because they knew how the turf was going to bounce and the ball was going to bounce up to them. When you're playing on that grass to dirt surface, if it's not a well-kept surface, it's going to be tough on it.
Good at bat by Ian Desmond. Goes to the right side. That gets Maxwell further over to the left side.
Let's scout Mr. Figueroa, the PNC Bank scouting report. This is his 47th start of his career. He's 35 years old. Traveling man, 15. He's only pitched 104 games over 7-part seasons. And this year, hitters are hitting .310. That's the batting average against Mr. Figueroa, so he's quite hittable.
Here's Zimmerman with a chance for RBI number 102. In the dirt, smothered by Omir Santos, the Mets catcher. Mets have him from the right side, Brian Schneider from the left. And with Detweiler pitching tonight, Jerry Manuel has loaded his lineup with right-handed bats. Good ID on the breaking ball. And Ryan went right center beautifully first inning yesterday.
Not easy against one of the toughest pitchers in the major leagues to homer against.
And Zimmerman goes right field this time. It appears to be deep enough, but Francoeur has a good arm. Here comes Maxwell. Here comes the throw. Safe on a big hop. And the Nationals take the lead. Good slide by Maxwell.
Yeah.
And that's what you call pressing the issue, Rob, making them make a perfect throw.
Well, you did, and you will see this on the replay. We're high above the action in our press box, and this kid has a cannon in right field. Francoeur, you'll see him surround the ball properly, come in, get a running start. All of the momentum coming forward, except at short, hops Santos, and he's not able to hold on to it, but it was still an excellent throw. Even better slide by Maxwell. I don't recommend diving head first unless you're by the catcher, and he did that well. Just want to make sure he doesn't get injured.
Jeff Francoeur has 11 assists this year, and now Ryan Zimmerman has 102 RBIs. Adam Dunn facing a pitcher who's given up 7 home runs in 56 innings. And Adams hit 38.
That is a well-manufactured run right there.
Yes, it was. Give Desmond credit for moving him over.
Yep.
Adam Dunn hooks one.
Look out.
Nice play, buddy.
Nice play by the sweater.
Mets defensively 12th in the league. Francoeur and Beltran. If those guys are healthy all next year, the Mets will have a great outfield, no matter who's in left. Right across from Tatis tonight, Hernandez. That's Anderson Hernandez, the former Nat. And Adam Dunn strikes out for the 171st time. A Maxwell double leads to a run in the first. And then they've had just so many guys beaten up.
Well, look at the injuries here, and so many days were missed on the disabled list that it's just very difficult to put any offense together. Delgado, Santana, but look at Reyes is one of the main guys for the table setting. And Beltran missed a ton of time. Sheffield, even though he came over and did a great job, he's been banged up as well. Kind of hard to blame Jerry Manuel when he can't just look around the room and pencil guys in the lineup. He's got to go into the training room and see who's not in the training room.
Yeah, then he has to check the minor league roster. You know, and Jeff Francoeur's playing hurt. He has a tear of the ligament in his left thumb, and he's shortened his swing. He's making contact, and it's too bad it took an injury for him to do that, because if it hadn't, he might still be playing right field for the Atlanta Braves. Right field. Mike Morse again. 5 batters, and 4 of them have hit the ball out to Mike Morse. Roberto Clemente, he's not, but he's acquitting himself very well so far. That ball was well hit.
He could be Mark DeRosa in 2010 for us.
I think that's a great call.
Yep, as long as he hits the ball with authority like he's already been doing, if you got a bat and you can hit, they find a spot for you in the lineup.
And he's got more power than Mark DeRosa does.
There's another one to right.
I swear somebody in the dugout already has had to drop the ugly finder phrase on Mike Morse. The hitter is Fernando Tatis. I don't remember Fernando ever being much of a right field hitter. But Detwiler working some of these guys away until they prove they can do something with it. And there goes another one.
Well, I think that, you know, his velocity will sneak up on you because you're probably looking for the big curveball. But he can throw some cutters and sliders around 90, and he can run the fastball 94 to 95. I just think the more consistent, that's the added ingredient he needs to be, consistency. Figure it out how to not walk so many guys.
He's throwing free and easy out there. Desmond gobbles it up. He's got a great arm. 2 outs. Now, Debbie Taylor, we saw Jim Riggleman with his team on the field today, gathered round, and you have more on that.
He held a meeting, Bob, to tell the players, listen, you got to play hard, finish strong. This is the last week of the season, and what you do this week can carry into next season. He also told the guys, even though they've had a losing season, the talent is here. He believes they can be contenders next October.
Wow. Well, it'll take a pretty good April, May, June, July, August, and September to do that. That ball's well hit by Omer Santos, but Maxwell, great speed, and Ross Detwiler's throwing strikes. The Mets are putting the ball in play. The Nats are catching it, and here comes Josh Willingham in the second. The Braves are eliminated by Saturday, and the ball game isn't carried by Fox, it simply will not be on television, because once that time slot's been chosen, it stays there. And if that game is played, and it will be at 4 o'clock, we are not allowed to carry it. So we'll be with you from Atlanta Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Be kind of fun if the Braves are still in it on the second last day of the season. The Rockies do not play tonight, while the Braves are hosting the Marlins behind Jair Jurgens. Look out, breaking ball almost hit Josh. And they're underway in that ball game. Bottom of the first, no score. Anibal Sanchez pitching for the Marlins, whose hopes are hanging on a thread. They're 5 back of the Rockies with 7 to go.
Well, the big series that starts tonight is Minnesota versus Detroit. 2 game separation there, 4 games between them.
And guess what? It's raining in Michigan. They're delayed right now.
No pressure.
2 balls and 1 strike to Josh. Willingham high in the air, right center. Francoeur and Beltran converge, and the center fielder takes charge, as he should. A busy weekend, Rob Dibble, for Mike Morse.
He's been doing a great job. The other day, hard fastball by Tommy Hanson, and that sucker gets crushed out in the center field in the batter's eye grass. And then yesterday, not easy to homer off this guy. Zim had already taken him to right, and then Mr. Morse gets another hanging breaking ball, and he just used his upper body strength to lift that one out.
Yeah. I wonder how many times Derek Lowe has given up 3 home runs and his team still won the game. That was very rare yesterday when Morse, Zimmerman, and Willingham all got Derek Lowe for the long ball. Figueroa throwing strikes here, 0-2. He's retired 4 straight since the double by Maxwell. Fastball up. Oh, the Braves have just scored. In fact, they have 2 runs already in the bottom of the first inning against Anibal Sanchez. Atlanta's won 6 in a row, by the way. He waited for that breaking ball. It's a hit to short. Anderson Hernandez only able to knock it down. Mike Morse stayed back nicely on that ball, and he's starting to pile up some base hits here.
Well, hits the ball with authority right here, hanging breaking ball. Hits down on it. For a big guy, he's got a short swing.
Mike Morse now hitting .272 as a National. Actually .273 if you round it up. And here's Josh Bard with 1 on, 1 out. And Josh is jammed, and David Wright is under it. Fair ball, 2 outs. Our final T-shirt Tuesday is tomorrow night. First 10,000 fans receive a free Netstown T-shirt. We're going to have quite a selection and collection of T-shirts over the winter. Ball games at 7:05, 202 675 Nats. Visit Nationals.com or stop by the box office here at the ballpark. J.D. Martin and Mike Pelfrey tomorrow night. And remember, if you want to come to the final home game of the season on Wednesday, first pitch at 4:35. We'll call that our rush hour special. Alberto Gonzalez hitting .265. Having some better at bats the last few days. He was 1 for 4 yesterday, lined out once. Alberto's starting to use the field a little more, but you have to ask the question, from his standpoint personally, is it too little too late? He was given a golden opportunity for 2 months after the All-Star break and did not embrace it, hitting only .220 since mid-July. Ross Detweiler next if the inning continues. You might notice cameras having a little tough time holding steady tonight. It is quite breezy here at the ballpark. It's really blown in from left center. And with Morse on the move, Gonzalez fouls it away. I like what Jim Riggleman did there, Rob. You've got your pitcher coming up next. Doesn't do you a whole lot of good to get a base hit and maybe have first and second or first and third. So he started the runner hoping Gonzalez could plug a gap and maybe steal a run here.
Well, and Gonzo's been going to right lately. It's a very nice job by him cutting down on the swing. Put him in motion. You get first and third. Try to get you a run here. As you said, you want to definitely get the pitcher up here with 2 outs. You don't want to lead off next inning.
Waits for a breaking ball and fouls it away.
I always like it, though, when Jim Riggleman puts the runners in motion. It puts pressure on the defense. They have to either stay put for defense first or they go to the bag, and that opens up some holes. I guess it's just having come up in the Reds chain and playing for Charlie Hustle. Pete Rose was my first manager. It's all about putting pressure on the defense, trying to take the extra base, going first to third. Just simple things like that can win you some ball games.
And you can do those things when you have the lead early in a game.
Oh yeah, when you're not down 4-5-0 in the second inning.
And Gonzalez having a good at bat here. Jim Riggleman did a lot of base coaching in his career. He's comfortable with the stopwatch. Gonzalez right up the middle, but that's where they're playing him. And right to the bag goes Anderson Hernandez. The Nats strand their first runner onto the third. 1-0 Washington. The Nats took him in the 4th round of the draft 2 years ago. It's only his 3rd professional season. Kind of busted out last year with a .278 at Vermont when he hit 10 home runs and drove in 38. Then we go into this season and he hits .286 at Hagerstown with the Suns. 23 homers, 84 RBIs, lots of runs, and Rob, some very impressive numbers as the Nationals minor league position player of the year.
And I like the on-base percentage over 400. It means that he doesn't strike out as much as some power hitters at that level. So master every level And then when you get here, you'll stay.
Since 03, Montreal, Washington Minor League Players of the Year. Termo Sledge, Ryan Church. Detweiler couldn't reach it. Good thing because Desmond's there. And he's throwing a lot of strikes and getting some ground balls tonight. So Derek Norris joining a nice line of talent. And now 3 of the last 5 outs have been on the ground. He'll face the pitcher Nelson Figueroa, a 171 career hitter. But I mean, this is a pitcher who looks like, and tonight's a cool night, but even if it was 85 degrees, he just looks like he's not even breaking a sweat, Rob. He's throwing so free and easy.
Yeah, and that's the thing we've talked about the last couple of starts, Bob, that he does not have free and easy mechanics.
Ryan Zimmerman, first time through the order, only 1 base hit. An opposite field double by David Wright. And the top of the order now with Angel Pagan.
And we've talked many times about the way he throws across his body, but lately we're not noticing it because he is being consistent. All of his motion is coming towards home plate, then he falls off the mound. Very hard to homer against. He's only allowed 3 home runs this season. So really the walks.
Yeah.
Be consistent, keep guys off the bases. You find yourself with a slot in the rotation for next year. You're going to see him go towards the first base side and finish off towards first base. But if he doesn't come towards Bard first, there's a little bit different angle, and you'll see him step towards the lefty and then throw it over the plate.
3-0.
So you're just, not only are you fighting nature by throwing overhand, but now you're fighting your body by throwing across it when you land.
Pagan tried to sell that pitch as being inside. And another strike. It's 3-2. There was one final today that was sort of interesting. The Pirates beat the Dodgers and Kuroda 11-1. And that Garrett Jones kid hit his 21st home run. He's going to get some Rookie of the Year votes for the Pirates.
Well, and Andy LaRoche went 5 for 5.
And hit his 12th home run. In fact, he hit 2. So Pagan's aboard with 2 outs. That'll bring up Luis Castillo.
All right, let's show him again so I can explain this one more time. Okay, you want to finish with that front foot on this side of the line here. And you will see where Ross finishes way over here. And then he throws across his body to make it to home plate.
Castillo goes down. Ball nearly missed him. And he may have twisted his ankle getting out of the way.
See the replay here. It's up and in. I think it's as much. He's probably just saw his life flash before his eyes. He's like, okay, that was a little close.
High strike, and the count's even 1-1.
What I like about the Nationals organization, though, as a whole, is in the minor leagues, they tried to change him. They tried to right his mechanics. It wasn't working. They allowed him to go back this year. And after he started really come into his own, he thanked the organization, said, thanks for letting me go back to my old style. Now it's up to him to find that consistency within that thrown across his body. to be a winner up here. So he's got the stuff. He's just got God-given talent. It's amazing.
But we have to remember, Rob, this kid was in single A ball last year.
He's only 23. There's plenty of time for him to develop.
We always talk about Ryan Howard coming out of his school. Another player I had overlooked until I saw it and jumped out off the page was Bill Miller.
Yeah.
Who was a switch hitter who won a batting championship. Played for the Giants, the Red Sox, the Cubs. He was a Missouri State guy when it was called Southwest Missouri State, like it was when Ryan Howard was there. But if you ask Ross who's the best known athlete ever to come out of that school, he'd probably tell you Jackie Stiles, a women's basketball player who broke every NCAA record out there. She was an unbelievable scorer and shooter.
Didn't she just go to the Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
Is she the coach of Rutgers?
I don't know if that's her or not. Jackie Stiles. She might still be playing pro ball.
Oh, okay. So she's a lot younger than that.
She's pretty young.
I don't know why that name sounds familiar.
Zimmerman, and that ball eats him up. Going over to third base is Pagan. And now because of the 2-out walk, it's become a dangerous inning with David Wright coming up. Base hit all the way. A screaming one-hopper.
Yeah, this is a scorcher.
Ryan got the glove down, tried to bring it up. And David Wright rifled a double down the right field line first time.
Vivian Stringer.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Stringer, Stiles. Yeah. Now Jackie's a little younger, and we'll leave that discussion of women's ages right where it sits. But I'll tell you, Vivian Stringer, great player, great coach herself. And suddenly Ross Detweiler's lost his command of the strike zone.
We shouldn't have talked about him.
David Wright having a dreadful year with runners in scoring position. Hard to believe. Third base Pagan, he walked with 2 outs. First base Castillo, both of them great speed. And a strike, 1-1. I just find it interesting. The Nationals play David Wright around to the right, and they're pitching him that way. And in my opinion, that's where he's the most dangerous. Now they want to bust him in. And Ross didn't get that fastball way inside, but he had enough giddy up on it. And now it's 1-2.
Well, he threw the curveball, and it was a good job by Bard having him throw a curveball to suck that front shoulder back in. And he got ahead, or got back in the count with the breaking ball, and then he's able to come back to the fastball.
Target in again. See, I think you have to jam David Wright. If you pitch him out over the plate consistently, he will wear you out to right field and right center. He's the best right-handed hitter going that way, Rob, I've seen since Mike Piazza and Julio Franco. All speed way outside, 2-2. When Ross gets guys to 2 strikes, he usually gets them out. All 39 of his strikeouts, which makes a lot of sense. You got to get 2 before you can get 3. And he's going to get the call on a fastball up and in right there. David Wright doesn't like it, and that's good pitching by Ross Detweiler. He strands 2 Mets, and he'll lead off bottom 3rd.
hit. I thought it was an error. And then today, another ball that I considered an error against the Gold Glove reigning champion in the National League, David Wright, was also ruled a hit. So official score, I guess, going with the fact that those were both tough plays for the third baseman and going with the hitters, giving them base hits. But you know, it's all arbitrary. It's his judgment on whether he thinks the guy had a play on it or whether the ball was hit very well and the guy wouldn't have made a play anyway. But to me, I look at it because when Ryne Sandberg had that consecutive errorless streak, there was a ball up the middle in Cincinnati that clearly he makes that play 9 times out of 10. They gave our guy a hit, and it should have been an error to keep his streak alive. Even he said after the game that was an error. Yeah. So, you know, to me, I think you take into consideration how fantastic Ryan Zimmerman is with the glove, so how excellent David Wright is with the glove. I hold him to a higher standard.
A higher standard than, say, Kevin Kuzminoff?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. You know, like if Adam Dunn misses that ball, it's a hit. But if, say, Casey Kotchman boots a ball like that, that's an error, because Casey Kotchman's going to make that play.
Or Derek Lee.
Or Nick Johnson. So I just think, to me, it has a lot to do with, you know, the talent level that you're dealing with who's trying to catch the ball.
Justin Maxwell got the Nats the game's only run back in the first. Hit that little bouncing ball, ruled a double off David Wright's glove, moved to second on a Desmond, to third rather on a Desmond ground ball, scored on the sacrifice fly by Zimmerman.
Get out of here.
Right by the barrier, and that was not well played by Fernando Tatis.
No,
he never got over to the barrier early enough to wait for the ball to come down. He drifted with the ball.
How long has our wall been electrified, by the way? Because watch how he comes by the wall. Oh, look out. That's not a great effort.
No, he should have been there waiting for the ball.
When did you guys put the barbed wire up there?
Yeah, evidently it's stolid 13 over there.
Come on, Fernando.
Well, he's a third baseman by trade.
And he plays a lot of left field, but still.
But what, you know, I think you run full speed and get over there to give yourself a chance. And the ball was being pushed by the breeze. It is breezy here tonight. And Maxwell works the count full, 3-2.
You know, if we go back to the Phillies series when Zim dove onto the tarp to make a play, per se. You know, he's capable of that kind of fantastic play.
Maxwell hits it hard and deep to center. Ball still carrying and right up against the wall. On another night or a day game when it's nice and warm, that's probably up on the wall, maybe even in the seats. He hit it extremely well. 2 outs.
3-2 pitch. Looks like a fat fastball down Broadway. This ball is crushed. And the wind just holds it up. And pretty lucky for Mr. Figueroa that the wind's blown in.
Here's Desmond.
Wow, that ball was crushed. We've got some guys that have a little talent.
That ball's well hit by Desmond. Heading for the gap. Nobody's catching it. Off the wall. Takes a funny hop. And that'll get him to third base. The ball changed directions on Jeff Francoeur, and Ian Desmond has his first major league triple. Well, center's the place to go tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, this kid's got some skills. The wind's blowing in. He crushes this ball. As Bob said, on a normal night, that's a home run. But right here, watch this extra gear. Wham! And he is in the third, standing up.
Can we hear that again?
Wham!
I like that. You sounded like that Mustang GT sitting out there.
Hopefully that was a little more guttural, more like a Harley Davidson.
Yeah. Thank you. I love sound effects to go with the replays.
I got plenty of sound effects.
Now Zimmerman has plenty of RBIs and one tonight. A 2-out hit gets him 103 and doubles the Nats lead here. They've been teeing off on Figueroa this inning. The wind kept one ball in the park by Maxwell and another one by Desmond.
I plan on working together for a long time, so I don't want to throw all my bag of tricks out there in the first.
Yeah, don't use them all up the first year.
Oh, no. I've got a lot of mo.
Okay.
No, we're in the playoffs and stuff. We're going to need to have some serious game.
Listen to you.
Hopefully it won't take us as long as Joe McGrain. It was 11 years before they got to the World Series down in Tampa.
Zimmerman's aboard. Well, I know broadcasters have gone a lot longer than that. You're sitting next to one of them. Adam Dunn.
When's the last time he went yard?
Well, he had number 38 last week.
Okay. It's not a lot of fun.
0 for 8 against the Braves.
Not a lot of fun to come to the park and he doesn't hit a home run.
Well, I'd love to see him get number 39 early in the week, so we could have a little fun home run drama going into the latter part of the week.
Oh yeah, a lot of drama those 4 days down in Atlanta.
Could be interesting.
That pitching staff, exactly.
I'm telling you, with the Rockies having to go to L.A., that ball corralled way out there by Castillo, and the Nats are going to triple a walk and do not score. They've stranded 3. To the middle innings. Three players hit homers as teenagers and past their 40th birthdays. Well, isn't Gary Sheffield one? How about Robin Yount?
How about, is Griffey Jr. 40 yet? I don't think he is.
Desmond guns out Beltran, 4th inning underway. This is a fun question.
Which three players?
Which three players hit homers in the major leagues as teenagers and past their 40th birthdays? I'm going to guess Gary Sheffield, who's with the Mets, gives us a little local angle tonight. Robin Yount was a teenager, wasn't he, when he came to the major leagues?
He was.
Okay. There's a 1-pitch out and a shattered bat for Francoeur. 2 down.
Could be a trick question, though. Mike Morgan was like 17 when he got to the major leagues, and he was over 40 when he finished.
Could he hit, though?
He's a huge guy.
Teenagers, position players.
Did it say teenage position player?
Well, it just said hit home runs, so it's likely not a pitcher.
Well, Joe Nuxall was 15, and he hit about 20 home runs in his career.
Wow.
I don't think
yeah, and we do have a Cincinnati Reds fan in the truck.
I don't think Nuxie played till he was 40. That would be cool.
All right, folks.
Mike Morgan, the truck just told me 0 career home runs.
Yeah, nice catch, Rob.
Yeah.
Here's Fernando Tatis. Grounded out to short first time. Sheffield, Yount.
Was Strawberry 19? No, he didn't play till he was 40.
Could have.
Yeah, he should have. Keith Hernandez is sitting about 15 feet to our right in the Mets booth.
Tatis hooking a ball, and it stays fair. The Mets will have their third hit of the game. A 2-out double here in the fourth by Fernando Tatis. His 19th of the year to go with 4 triples and 8 home runs.
Well, they are tough with 2 outs tonight.
Homer Santos coming up here at Nationals Park in our nation's capital. Mass in HD tonight. Your humble host, Bob Carpenter, with Rob Dibble and Debbie Taylor. 1-0 Nats, top of the fourth. Meanwhile, in Atlanta, the Braves now lead the Marlins 3-0.
Tigers Twins, I was just told, was postponed.
Yeah, they changed the R on the scoreboard to D for delayed, but evidently they need to put up a P.
Inclement weather. Well, Sheffield hit 4 home runs when he was 19.
In the air to center from Santos. Maxwell drifting. And the Mets are gone in the top of the fourth. Ross Detweiler pitching well. Looking good, girls.
things you're going to be looking at. The same thing with Ian Desmond. You know, what should Ian Desmond do this offseason? We already know Elijah Dukes is going to winter ball to get some more at-bats and get some more reps in right field. So it's just a question of getting some things done here in the last week and getting guys ready for next season, because that's where you need this team to win 85, 90, 95 games, go to the playoffs next year.
Willingham, Morse, and Bard, bottom of the fourth. And a big breaking ball from Figueroa is right in there. He hasn't pitched that badly. 1 run on 3 hits so far. Detweiler, no runs on 3 hits.
Robin Yount's out.
Yeah, you told me Robin Yount retired before he was 40, right?
Yep, 37.
Oh, boy.
Did hit 4 home runs or 3 home runs when he was 18.
I thought we had 2 out of 3 right out of the gate there. And then Willingham, he took the strikes, swung at the ball, and here with Mike Morse coming up is Debbie Taylor with more.
Well, Mike Morse has had an explosive bat lately, and he told me today he's feeling very comfortable at the plate.
It's mostly focus and you know, just go out there and have fun. You know, I try to put no pressure on myself, and you know, I want to show these guys that, you know, I belong here, and you know, show the fans and you know, have a good time.
Well, I'll tell you what, he keeps giving Jim Riggleman a reason to keep him in that lineup, Bob.
Well, it was interesting, Debbie, because in Mike's first 20 games or so, he never got more than 1 at bat. Until he started the ball game yesterday, he had 27 at bats in 24 games. So he steps up yesterday and homers his 2nd time up after hitting the dramatic 3-run pinch hit homer on Saturday. And it's a manager's challenge here in September when there are a lot of new faces around, Mike Morse included, to get these guys the at bats they need, so you know if you can consider them for the following year. And Rob, I love the prospect of this guy being a 5th infielder and or a 4th outfielder next year.
I agree.
He's got that pop off the bench, and not many guys have that.
Mark DeRosa was the heart and soul of the Cubs. I still believe that when they traded him, that team changed. And you get a guy like Mike Morse, he's a very free and easy, free-spirited type guy. He's going to keep you loose in the clubhouse. And if he hits, you stick him in the lineup every day or every other day. And watch this guy have some fun. But Mark DeRosa helped the Cubs win 97 games last season.
And even though he's been hurt this year, he has helped that St. Louis ball club when he's been available. Three and 2 to Morse. And he swings hard. He doesn't get cheated at that plate. Base hit to deep short, first time tonight. And a 3-2 from Figueroa. Hits another ball hard. This one, Hernandez gets it, throws wide, and Mike Morse is going to second base. Anderson Hernandez made a good glove play and not a good throw. Let's see how they score this one. It could be a base hit.
I think it's a hit with a throwing error.
And an error for second.
This is going to be a close play anyway. It's a great catch by Anderson Hernandez. Yeah.
They give him a hit and an error. Anderson Hernandez, 11th error of the year and his 5th since coming back to the Mets from the Nationals.
And here's the throw. Probably should have eaten the ball, but he tried to make an athletic play.
And Mike Morse is 2 for 2. Josh Bard gives away the at-bat with a half swing, 2 outs. Morse to third. It'll be up to Alberto Gonzalez with 2 down. Final home game Wednesday. Lots of celebration and great giveaways in store. The game's at 4:35. Come early. First 20,000 fans get to take home the free Curly W fleece blanket. Tickets available, nationals.com. Call 202-675-NATS. Get your red on and take the fleece blanket home. They will walk Gonzalez and pitch to Detweiler here in the 4th. And for the final home game of the year on Wednesday, John Lannon and Tim Redding. Two gentlemen we know very well. And the Nats owe Tim Redding one after how well he pitched in New York a week and a half ago. There's John. Boy, wouldn't you love to see John Lannon in his final start get that 10th win of the year? He sure would deserve it. So many times this year he's pitched well enough to win. No run support. Give us a shout through the website. Ask about the Nats at masnsports.com. Maybe you can help us out with our guess on the trivia. You were thinking about Darrell Evans. Was he one of those guys?
Darrell Evans was not. He just missed it. He did hit 33 home runs after 40. 22 one year. I thought Jimmy Fox hit some when he was 19, but he retired at 37.
Stan Musial played well beyond his 40s, but he was not a teenager when he came up.
Hank Aaron hit 755.
What about Al
Kaline? A bunch when he was young, but 20 at 19.
Did Al Kaline play as a teenager? He was with the Tigers a long, long time.
Al Kaline hit 5 in his teen years, but no, he retired at 39.
Gosh.
And hit 13.
One to Detwiler, who has one Major League RBI. He's taking some wax up there.
Al Kaline had 399 home runs. He needed one more.
I know. Think of all the warning track fly balls he probably hit to dead center field at Tiger Stadium, where it was 440 feet to the fence. I think we're in trouble, Rob. The answer's coming out of the next break.
At this point, I don't care.
I care. I'm just clueless.
I'm upset.
Somebody call me on the clue phone, please. 1-2 to Detwiler. Struck out looking first time.
See, now Frank Robinson's a lot like Hank Aaron. He hit a bunch at 20. Frank hit 38 home runs when he was 20 years old.
Big curveball. The Nats are gone.
And into his 40s.
All right, give it up. Give it up, Rob. The inning's over.
Oh.
On Gary Sheffield, but who are the other teenagers who also homered past their 40th birthday? Ty Cobb and Rusty Staub. Gary Sheffield's was number 500 earlier this year.
Well, he just turned 40 this year. He's got 10 home runs.
You know, it's funny because we were thinking of home run hitters. Ty Cobb and Rusty Staub really were not home run hitters. They were line drive singles and doubles guys.
Well, Johnny Holiday could have helped us with Ty Cobb. I heard Johnny really enjoyed his career.
Weren't they roommates in college?
Anderson Hernandez bounced out to short first time. Detweiler throws a strike and the count's even. Well, that's something this organization can hang its hat on a bit. Rusty Saab was a great expo. Saw Rusty in New York earlier this year. He got out of the restaurant business.
Le Grand Orange.
He was a gourmet cook. Rusty and other ex-athletes and coaches have told me that the restaurant business is a great way to make a little money, as long as you start with a lot.
Rusty hit 6 as a 19-year-old.
I would have never guessed him.
Yep, and hit 2 in his 40s.
Wow. That ball drilled up the middle. Anderson Hernandez. He's hitting .261 since coming to the Mets 41 games ago, when the Nats sent him back to New York from where he came.
Rusty in his black golf gloves hit 292 home runs, 1,466 ribbies, lifetime .280 hitter.
There's Nelson Figueroa with a chance to bunt and get the tying run to second base. But he bunts it back toward the President's Club for strike one. Phillies' magic number is 3 to win the division over Atlanta. And they're tied 1-1 at home with Houston. Bottom 4. Fair ball. Safe. Or did they get him?
No, he's safe at second.
Well, and then Desmond still had a play at first. Jim Riggleman wants to know what's going on in the batter's box with that being called a fair ball. That's a fielder's choice. The hitter gets a sacrifice, and the Mets have 2 men on with nobody out. And I'm not sure Desmond realized that he still had a play at first base, even though the runner was safe at second. We've seen that happen before, where the lead runner was safe, but you still get the out at first. Home plate umpire Brian Runge. And basically Josh Bard did not make the right choice on where to throw. Let's see what Jim Riggleman was arguing here. Maybe whether it was a fair ball.
He may be arguing
on the bat.
I thought the runner and the catcher made contact. That's rule 7.09. If they make contact, the batter's out. Says when a catcher and a batter runner going to first base have contact when the catcher's fielding the ball, there's generally no violation, nothing should be called unless it is ruled obstruction.
Great play by Ryan Zimmerman. He called off the pitcher, and he was nearly looking right down the first base line by the time he threw this ball. That's a fantastic play. Detweiler got out of the way, and look where Zimmerman was when he let go of that ball.
Well, it just shows you what kind of fielder Zim is.
And don't discount the bunt here. The Mets have a speedy runner at third base. Castillo is a very good bunter. I'm a little surprised Zimmerman's playing as far back as even with the bag.
Well, Castillo's last at bat, he hit a rocket at Ryan at third. Might be the reason he's back a little bit.
Yeah. He goes right field this time. It's out of play. But if you're ever looking for a suicide squeeze or even a safety squeeze combination of runner and hitter, these would be 2 of the guys for the Mets. What the Nats need is a line drive at somebody and for the pitcher to get picked off second. Just like that. but Gonzalez was way off the bag and could not get there.
Now you know why Zim was playing back. This guy has hit 2 rockets to the left side of the infield. And that is just a seed.
Yep. Too bad Gonzalez wasn't playing further up the middle. That would have been the ending of the inning we were looking for. Now here's David Wright. Do you fear him or Beltran here? First base is open. This is a real test for a young pitcher. There's a ground ball to short, and the young pitcher is going to pass that test with flying colors and a little bit of luck on that line drive to short. The Mets strand 2 more, and they've left 6. Rookie that got Maxwell to third base with 1 out. We had a president's race earlier tonight.
Don't tell me Teddy didn't win.
At least he ran. So it's George and Abe.
No, Abe won again.
Future Dancing with the Stars contestant.
That's too much sugar. So yeah, think you can dance? Maybe not.
Can you dance better than a 5th grader? Maybe that'll be the next show. Bottom of the 5th inning,
I can
Maxwell.
dance like a 5th grader.
I never got to dance until I was in my senior year in high school. Nobody ever asked. Figueroa. This is the time of the game when people start getting hits off him. But he gets Maxwell, had a breaking ball, and Max pulled off it and hit it to Jeff Francoeur for the first out. Desmond and Zimmerman, the next 2. In partnership with Major League Baseball and Players Give Back, the Nats are offering free tickets to military personnel Wednesday for the last game. 5,000 available. All active military personnel can pick up tickets starting at noon Wednesday at the Nationals Park Grand Staircase box office that's located on 1st Street while supplies last. And that's over in right field side of the ballpark. You can pick them up with a valid military ID, a limit of 4 tickets per person. We'd be honored if you active military would come and join us on Wednesday. And a bunt. Desmond. David Wright plays it well. The throw gets away, and Desmond's going to second base. We haven't seen that from him yet. And we'll see if they give him a base hit. David Wright will have to be assessed an error for the throw that allowed him to go to second.
Well, it is a windy, blustery night. All kinds of strange things are happening right here. You see Desmond put the head down and run. And that sets up the throwing error by David Wright. But great bunt right here. See him deaden it like a shock absorber. Barehanded, great play. Flick of the wrist. And you got normally a third base left fielder trying to play first. He should have gone after the ball. He stayed on the bag to try to make a super play. And that was not what you want to do if you're a first baseman.
And that's a good call by the official score. Desmond was at the bag when the throw got there. David Wright's 17th error, and Zimmerman bats again with a runner in scoring position. But Figueroa pretty much pitched around him in a situation like this 2 innings ago. Desmond had tripled with 2 outs. He walked Zimmerman, then grounded out Adam Dunn. So Ryan Zimmerman's up with an RBI opportunity for the 3rd consecutive time. By the way, in that Atlanta game, their 3rd run came in the bottom of the 3rd, and it was Chipper Jones with his 18th homer of the year.
All right, you were talking about the military the other night. I was at the Crystal City Pub, our little watering hole. Met some Army Rangers in town for a wedding. And this offseason, I may be going on a tandem jump with the Golden Knights.
Ooh, just foul. So did they just decided to drop in for the wedding?
Well, one dropped in from Germany, but yes.
Nice.
They dropped in for a buddy's wedding.
So a tandem jump, that's where you're tied up with the guy and you both jump out?
It is, yes. And it's going to be in Arizona. And I'm thinking, you know, you live in Oklahoma. That's not that far away from Arizona. I think they've got room for one more.
I'm the father of 2 college children. I'm not going to jump out of an airplane.
Oh,
sorry.
come on. They're our nation's
gonna happen.
finest. And that ball just misses foul on Zim going to right field. Hey, no one hates heights and planes more than myself, but when it comes to the military, I'll do it.
How long's your contract with Masson?
I thought it would be nice and maybe get a camera crew to film it.
Oh my gosh. Well, my idea of danger is playing golf in the wind. So have at it, big boy.
No, come on. Don't be a Sally.
2-2 to Zimmerman with 1 out. Time called.
On that other show I did, Rodney Peete jumped with the Flying Elvises. And he parachuted with them. So if he can do it, we can do it.
My old friend in St. Louis, Jack Buckland, skydiving in his 70s. Zimmerman is gone. And that'll be the 5th strikeout of the night for Figueroa. That was a front door breaking ball that kind of backed up and stayed up and in.
2-2 pitch. Good breaking ball. Figueroa having a game of his night.
Leslie Nielsen working the plate tonight, evidently.
Yeehaw! Bring him up, sit him down.
Jeez. I didn't know that choreography got you into the playoffs.
Joe, you want to go?
Here's Adam Dunn, who's 0 for 2.
Joe Delpo, our stage manager, said no stage.
So
no, we got room for you.
I can picture you at Crystal City Sports Pub walking up and say, "Hey, I know you guys are Rangers. I'm Rob Dibble. Can I jump with you, please?"
I did not. And the guy came up. He was a Reds fan. Yeah, you could just pick out the Golden Knights out of a crowd. They wear their uniforms out. No, they don't.
Adam Dunn needs a 2-out RBI here. The Nats need a 2-out RBI. They're going to walk him now that the count's gone to 2-0, and they'll take their chances with Josh Willingham. Now, I talked about just this during our press briefing with Jim Riggleman the other day, because I asked him why he was batting Adam Dunn at times 3rd these days with Ryan Zimmerman behind him. One of the reasons was Adam was not getting the protection in the lineup from Josh Willingham that he was a month ago or 2 months ago. So here's a classic example. They don't want to mess with Dunn. They're going to pitch to Willingham because Josh has been struggling. He's hitting just over 140 the past month. So let's see if Josh can make this one hurt with 2 outs.
Well, I hope he sits back on a breaking ball here and just jacks it out of here.
But you know, Rob, Adam Dunn has not been hitting much lately because the guy behind him hasn't been hitting much, except for the swing yesterday against Derek Lowe.
Well, there was a sinker that didn't sink, and so Lowe's ball was sunk as Willingham crushes it over the left field wall.
I mean, just a base hit here to get Josh going again. He struck out for the 100th time this year, his last time up. 24 home runs, 61 RBIs, a pretty typical Josh Willingham season. Tried to wait for that ball, but he was way out ahead of it. And the Nats are gone in the 5th. They strand 2. They've left 7. The Mets have left 6. 1-0 Washington. Then Fox may choose not to televise the game. If that's the case, the game will not be on TV because we cannot go on Masson during that 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock national TV window. And in that case, the game just won't be on. So if the Braves are still alive, Saturday's game will be seen on Fox. Carlos Beltran on the top of the 6th. Ross Detwiler has stopped the Mets on 4 hits. Up the middle, it's got enough hair on it to get through. Carlos Beltran, his 3rd ground ball up the middle tonight. Desmond took care of the other 2, but he couldn't reach this one. Jeff Francoeur 0 for 2. Francoeur, a fly ball to right and a ground ball to first, so he's been staying on the ball, trying to go opposite field. And Detwiler throws a heater moving at 89 right by him.
Cheese. This ball popped all the way up here to the press box. 91. go much by the Jugs guns, by the swing of the hitter.
Jams in. Francoeur misses a double by maybe a foot or two.
Just foul. Nice play by the fan. You can catch that one because it's a foul ball. Unlike the other day when it was a double and the fan caught it and got a souvenir.
That's a wild pitch. And Beltran to second base, tying run with nobody out.
Bard wanted the target up. He just missed the target by a little bit. Call this effectively wild. He wants it up, and got some rookies behind home plate there that flinched when it hit the screen. The ball's just a bit high.
Gets him on a pitch up and away, and Detweiler keeps the runner from advancing for his second strikeout tonight.
You talked about this, Bob, when Francoeur, his MO is 2 strikes, still goes with the long swing. 92 up there, got to lay off of it. So thankfully for Ross, he gets the punch out. Stay away from off-speed stuff with Tatis. He's got a slow bat, which we would consider a slider bat speed.
Right.
He just blew away Francoeur, who's a very good fastball hitter.
Tatis is a mistake hitter. Detweiler has really struggled.
Yeah, but we're gonna X that out. I don't want to see that.
The longest he's gone this year, 7 innings against Toronto.
He needs to change that. That's finding the right ingredients, more consistency.
He's been given no runs to work with. Losing, the Nats eventually lost 4-2 at Philadelphia when he gave up 1 run in 5 innings to the powerful Phils. Then against the Dodgers, 5 2/3, 3 runs on 6 hits.
Nice totals there. Well, as I said to John Lannon about the defense behind him the last few games, I said you can't control that. You can only control what you've been doing, his emotions, going out, continue to battle. The wins are going to come. Some way, somehow, this team's got to change how it plays defense. I've talked to some of the coaches. I mean, they're doing everything they can. They can't figure out why at this level some of these plays aren't being made. They were taking infield again today. It's not about that. It's, first of all, we got to find some stability next year and put the same lineups out there. Try to work it like the Phillies, where they have the same lineup every day, and they've made what, about 66 errors on the season.
Right there with the Pirates as the steadiest defensive teams in the league. Phillies have made 73, Houston 74, Pittsburgh 68. One on, one out, top of the 6th inning. Fernando Tatis 1 for 2 with a double. Nats lead 1-0. Hits are even at 5. Line drive. Desmond can't reach it. This game is tied.
All right, keep the guy from going to second.
Yeah. RBI number 44 for Tatis. That was a fastball.
Well, he reached out and just punched it into center.
And now the 7 runners the Nationals have stranded comes back to hurt. And the Mets lead run aboard.
Just out of the grasp of Ian Desmond. See Beltran cruise in. So now that wild pitch really comes back, though, to Mike Ross.
Is this a good visit by Steve McCatty because you have a young pitcher who's been pitching well, but you don't want him to have a big time letdown just because he gave up a run?
Yeah, because you want him to shake it off. You want him to shake off the wild pitch that led to the run coming in. You know he's thinking about that. You want to, get back to the Francoeur, which is the muscle memory, and say, listen, you punched out a really good hitter. This Judy Tatis just punched one into center field. Don't worry about that. Go get this next guy and just put it all behind you, because it's a 1-1 game. So he's telling him, listen, it's a new ball game. It's 1-1. We got a shot to win the ball game. Don't start giving up a big inning right here. Still in an excellent game. That's what I'm sure that Steve wanted to reassure him.
Averaging right around 14 pitches per inning through his first 5. Things have gotten a little tougher here in the 6th. Omir Santos, the catcher, has flied out twice to Maxwell in center.
Well, Steve is trying to teach the pitchers that they need to be in charge. And you've said it often enough. You don't see enough of our guys shaking off the catchers when they don't want to throw something. That's one thing Steve and I talk about all the time. If you don't like it, don't throw it. Shake it off or call the catcher out and say, I don't want to go with that. Yeah. I'm not happy with that. And I already told you, Steve Yeager said the same thing. Steve Yeager just wanted to know why you didn't want to go with his selection. But the bottom line is, Steve Yeager said to me, he said, listen, I want that guy to be 100% sure he knows what he's throwing and he wants to throw with everything he's got.
3-0. But my point on the McCatty visit was, okay, you've given up 2 singles this inning.
Right.
You're still in the ball game. Don't lose it because they got a couple of hits for 90 feet each. Yeah, the wild pitch hurt, but he's still pitching well.
Oh, absolutely. And you want to reassure the guy, listen, you're doing a great job. This is the 3rd time through the lineup. They're going to get some hits. They get paid to do that, too.
3-1. He's still a ground ball from being out of the inning. He threw an off-speed pitch that Santos was way in front of.
I love what Bob Uecker says when he says the worst thing about a pitcher is the 6 inches between his ears. It's the truth.
Yeah.
You can outthink yourself to death in this game, and hitters do it too.
Well, I think we have a couple of those on this staff. Young men of great talent. Do they trust it? That ball's drilled.
We got a guy there.
But you've got a very speedy, tall, rangy, good center fielder. 2 outs.
Did I tell you he was smart?
Yeah, and I think you told us his parents were dentists.
Dentists.
By the way,
stars.
you have a season-ending appointment with the senior Dr. Maxwell. He's going to use sedation dentistry on you and probably install a couple of secret cameras.
That's fine. You want to see what I'm doing in the off season? That's fine. Oh, that's funny.
Sedation dentistry on Dibble. Ground ball right side. Gonzalez, long way to go. Can't get it there in time. Anderson Hernandez is too fast. Now, they are going to bat Nelson Figueroa. No sweat. You're facing the other pitcher, and it's still a 1-1 game.
Well, this is a great play by Gonzo, making it right here. It's like Bob said, though, this guy running is fast as lightning. So Anderson Hernandez is trucking down the line right here, and it's just one of those things.
And if Anderson Hernandez had done for the Nats what he's done tonight, he'd still be here. He's hit 2 ground balls and a line drive.
He might be the guy making that play.
Yeah. But nobody the Nats have put at second base has really taken charge. Now Ronnie Belliard, he wasn't trying to win the second base job. He was trying to survive another season in the big leagues, and he did quite well for the Nats. when called upon. But the Nats gave Hernandez a shot. They gave Gonzalez a shot. Figueroa 0 for 1 with the sacrifice. Way outside, and he swings and misses it by a bunch. 1 and 2.
There's no telling what Ronnie Belliard was trying to do out there.
Well, yeah. But I think we found out the last 3 weeks. Now that he's motivated and there's a pennant race, Ronnie Belliard's playing good ball for the Dodgers. But he wasn't some young kid here trying to win a job. That ball goes right through Josh Bard.
And sometimes I think he was trying to reach the capitol in the air with his swings.
Second wild pitch of the inning.
Well, he really humps up on this curveball, and it gets between the 5-hole of Josh Bard. Now you just have to make a pitch right here.
Have to get the opposing pitcher. It's the beauty of the National League for a pitcher.
Exactly.
Figueroa stays alive.
If you're in the American League, you're probably facing some guy that can really wear you out.
You're probably facing a 280 to 290 hitter right now in the American League. All right. He gets the fastball away. Pitch count up at 100. That might be it for Detweiler. He's due to bat 4th. House. Never know what you might see at the ballpark or above the ballpark here at this time of the year. The planet Jupiter is on display tonight, and 4 of its moons evidently able to be seen. They were the only 4 that Galileo was able to spot. They're called Ganymede, Callisto, Europa, and Io. And by the way, Jupiter has 57 other moons that we cannot see tonight. And kids, you can report that in school tomorrow, and I bet you'll get an A.
If you're a nerd like Bob.
Teachers
now,
love,
if you're like me,
teachers love nerds.
You could report the score of the Cowboy game to your teacher and probably get a D.
And then you could sit in the corner for a half hour with your dunce cap on. I'm sure they can't do that anymore.
And the girls will be going, I kind of like the bad boy.
Yeah. I heard your tattoos were a second-grade sensation.
Yes, they were.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Morse, Bard, and Gonzalez. Well, we like to mix in a little science and research with our baseball now and then. Jason Bergman used to be a teacher during the offseason. 2-0 on Morse. He may be wailing away here. He does. And he hits one high in the air to right field.
Get up!
That ball is carrying out of here. Woo! Mike Morse is 3 for 3. And he's now hit home runs in 3 consecutive games. The Nats lead 2-1.
Way to go, big boy.
He's fun to watch when the count's 2-0.
Well, when he gets a hold of them, they fly, and this is into a stiff wind off the end of the bat. You're going to see the head go down, perfect form, and that ball is just riding out of here.
And Rob, in 3 days, he has doubled his major league career home run total.
You just don't ever know what a guy can do until you give him the at-bats.
And then the next thing to say is the more you see him, the more you like him. Mike Morse for the Seattle Mariners hit 3 home runs in 300 at-bats over parts of 4 years with the Mariners. He's now hit 3 home runs in 35 at-bats for the Nationals. And of course, they've come in the last 3 games now. He likes this ballpark, evidently. Josh Bard gets under one. Beyond second, Castillo. Francoeur behind him if needed, 1 out. Get your season tickets secured for next year. 202-675-NATS. You get, as a season ticket holder, guaranteed seating, savings over single game prices, discounts on merchandise, access to exclusive events, and a whole lot more. Place your deposit, become a 2010 citizen of Natstown today. Kristen Guzman to hit for Ross Detweiler. Alberto with a ground ball to short, walked intentionally in front of the pitcher last time. By the way, the Nats have now hit 150 home runs. Last year they hit 117. Now Pete Orr's coming out. Gonzalez gets jammed. It hits a can of corn to left center for Angel Pagan. 2 outs. And it'll be Pete Orr now going back. Is Guzman coming back?
Well, musical pinch hitters here. Now it's going to be Jorge Padilla.
All right. Jorge Padilla as a major league pinch hitter, 2 for 13, 2 for 21 overall. And Ross Detweiler's done for the night after 99 pitches, 6 quality innings. He gives up 1 run on 7 hits. Walked a couple, threw a couple of wild pitches. Well, he only walked 1 and struck out 2.
What I think he was thinking, if Gonzo got on, you want a good hit and run guy. That's Christian. If he doesn't get on, maybe send up Pete Orr. Pete Orr can maybe lose a ball and hit a home run. And then he said, you know what, I'll save those guys for a little bit later in the ball game when I may really need a righty-lefty combination coming off the bench. And so he sat those 2 left-handed hitters down and brought up Padilla. Maybe Padilla could run into a hanging breaking ball from Figueroa.
In the minor leagues, Padilla hit nearly 90 home runs, averaging about 7 or 8 per year. Not a power hitter per se, but a big, strong kid. 6'1", 215, and the 0-2 pitch. He'll lay off the one upstairs. Ball 2. So Detweiler, 99 pitches, 64 strikes, certainly a quality start. And a chance to be a winner for the first time. Breaking ball, Padilla does hit it hard, but it's near Pagan in left field. Mike Morse, 3 for 3 tonight, and he jacks one out of here over the scoreboard in right center. The Nats lead 2-1. Mets in 6 innings, pitches well, and he has a chance for a win. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network, your world delivered. Now it's up to the bullpen. Jason Bergman gets the 7th inning assignment against the top of the Mets order. Off-speed pitch for a ball. Cole Hamels just gave up 2 runs in the top of the 6th at Philadelphia. Phillies got a run in the bottom. Astros 3, Phils 2. Phillies with a magic number of 3 to win the division. Atlanta still leads, bottom of the 6th behind Jair Jurgens, 3-0 over the Marlins. Ball 3.
You cannot come into the game and walk the leadoff guy. You just can't do that.
Not with a 1-run lead. Bergman's 53rd appearance. ERA 4.95. Oops. And his 23rd walk compared to 35 strikeouts. Not a good ratio. That's as many men as Ross Detweiler walked in 6 innings tonight. There's Castillo, dangerous speed bunt run guy. And good speed with Pagan. He's stolen 13 out of 20. Not a great percentage. There's Castillo. That ball better go foul. Man, did he deaden that thing. And Bard picked it up as soon as it crossed the line. Have to admire a guy who's 34 and still moves down the line like Luis Castillo does.
Well, I admire him because he took a lot of heat last year for having a bad year. And if you look at his numbers, they weren't that atrocious. But he got paid an awful lot of money. A lot of people get on Omar Minaya. for giving him a 4-year contract, and he has come back and proven why he was the guy that deserved that contract. I know every time we play him, this guy gets 2-3 hits.
He's had a hard time in recent years playing a complete season because of injury. The most games he's played in the last 4 years, 142 with the 06 Twins.
Well, you saw those numbers right there, 354 against the Nationals this season.
Zimmerman really in at third. Castillo might try to slap one right by him now. Ryan's only about 80 feet from the plate.
Well, he figures he's safe right here from the left-hander's batter's box. Castillo's more of a slap guy this way. But right-handed, he hit 2 bullets to the left side of the field tonight.
Hard guy to double up. He bunts it. Bard's got to hurry. Well played by Josh. He was bunting for a hit. They'll give him a sacrifice. And the tying runs at second base with 1 out. 2-3 on that attempt. And David Wright coming up. First base open. 1-run game. David Wright 1 for 3 with a double, looking for RBI number 70.
Looks like Jair Jurgens is throwing a gem down in Florida.
That he is.
He doesn't get enough publicity. What a trade the Braves made with the Tigers for that guy.
He has shut out Florida on 5 hits.
David Wright pounds left-handed pitchers. Above average against right-handers, but
yeah, he's the best in the league against lefties.
Not too well against Bergman career-wise.
He went 1 for 3 against Detwiler tonight. You'd have to consider that a good job by Ross, because David Wright came in 413 against left-handed pitchers.
With almost a 500 on-base percentage.
That's the highest average by any hitter in baseball. Derek Jeter, the other one, over 400, hitting 402 against southpaws over in the AL. 3-1 now. And a slow roller. That'll freeze the runner. Desmond charges it really well. 2 outs. Beltran coming up. Well done by Bergman and Desmond. 18,600 even here at the ballpark tonight on a cool evening. Bob Carpenter, Rob Dibble, Debbie Taylor, Masson HD. Top 7, Nats 2, Mets 1. Mike Morse, the leadoff homer in the 6th, the difference. And here's Beltran, who singled his last time up, leading off the 6th, and scored 1 out later on the Fernando Tatis base hit.
You may as well put Beltran on here and pitch to Frank Court.
They will. There'll be 2 walks in the inning by Bergman. Jeff Francoeur 0 for 3 tonight. Interesting that Ron Vallone's warming up. If he comes in, he'll be facing right-handed batters. Jim Riggleman is pacing the 3rd step from the top of the dugout.
If the cord on my headset would go far enough, I'd pace too. Yeah, left-handers against Bergman hitting 345 this season.
Francoeur slaps one foul.
Righties 261.
Francoeur, by the way, came into this game hitting .323 in September. Now December, that would be quite a story. But it is warm in Georgia this time of the year.
It's pretty good winter ball.
Yeah. September, .323, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, and Bergman has him 0-2. 93 on the heater.
Start him off with a breaking ball. He bid on that one. Then he just blows 93 by him. He's way ahead.
If you throw the slider, bury it.
He did. He went. Tag him. He's out.
Oh, the inning's over. Francoeur did take a swing. You get him 0-2, he'll swing at just about anything. And Brian Runge punches him out. Francoeur cannot believe it.
Meeting the ball out in front of the plate. By getting that bat head out front of that pitch, he's able to hit it over the scoreboard in right center field for the 2-1 lead for the Washington Nationals. Coors Light freeze cam. I got a ball. That's right. I'm bad. I got a ball. Now you can take that to school tomorrow.
Shawn Green, the hitter, or the new pitcher for the Mets, as the Nationals come up with the top of the order, bottom 7. Justin Maxwell 1 for 3. Double a run scored. Tough right-hander to hang in there against.
I'll give you one guess who's warming up for the Mets.
Is he left-handed?
Yeah.
Is his first name Pedro?
Yeah, absolutely. Because he doesn't pitch every night.
Yeah. Well, you know, if he wasn't warming up, you know that it would be untrue. Pedro Feliciano, not.
I love him. I can't believe as much as that poor guy pitches.
I don't think he's very poor.
And we saw another guy, Moylan, just left here with the Braves.
Oh, Maxwell, good swing. He's aboard. Now keep in mind, right-handed pitcher. Maxwell 5 for 5 stealing bases this year. At this stage of a ball game, the Nats haven't been ahead very much in 09.
Well, they just saw Moylan, so maybe they learned something by the guy that throws under. And so down under right there, take it to right field as it sweeps across your body, and J-Max has a single and a double tonight. And Ian has done a nice job tonight. Couple of hits, huge unselfish move, moving the runner over with no outs to get Maxwell in earlier in the ball game. So he can hit the ball to the right side. Once again, send the runner. Nate Castillo cover.
Yeah.
And try to shoot the hole.
Well, Jim Riggleman gets to manage tonight. He wasn't down 3 or 4 runs in the first 2 innings, thanks to Ross Detweiler, who has forced the Mets. And then Bergman did the same thing to strand runners all night. They've left 10. But again, it's the bottom of the 7th inning. How many times at this stage of a ball game this year have the Nats been ahead? Good pitch to lay off. Desmond has bunted once for a hit tonight. He's tripled. So the Nats with 2 youngsters at the top of the batting order tonight. And those guys are 4 for 7. It's the kind of table setting that's been sorely lacking lately. Great bunt. Desmond having one of his finest offensive games in the last 2 weeks here.
Great job by the youngster right here. Check the technique out. Get that bat head out in front of the plate. Deaden the ball into fair territory. Beautiful job by Ian Desmond. That's why they call it a sacrifice. You give up an at-bat. You sacrifice an at-bat for the team and to get the runner up a base.
And the people who invented this wonderful game do not penalize you for doing so. No at-bat charged. And now Zimmerman, who's 25 years old today, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday, Z.
He has celebrated with 1 RBI.
Oh, you got to hit a home run on your birthday. You just have to.
That'd be all right. I'll settle for RBI number 103 here on a base hit. Some fans just sang happy birthday to him from the upper deck.
Yeah, a night like tonight, why can't everybody just move down close to the plate?
You mean the fans?
The fans. That body warmth going. It's a little cold. That togetherness feel.
Well, I guess they could have. With something in the stretch, they could have sung Kumbaya. But they went with "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" again.
Now, wasn't Johnny Holiday in on that inventing of the game?
No,
he wasn't in on that meeting?
That was a full generation before. Zimmerman had to reach for a breaking ball and a throw to third. Maxwell thought he would challenge, and Hernandez threw him out. Not a good decision by Maxwell. With Adam Dunn coming up, he just took himself out of scoring position.
And that's going to be it. Jerry Manuel is going to bring in Feliciano. There you see it off the end of the bat by Zim. Justin Maxwell is tagged out at third base, and that will bring in the lefty on Dunn.
He thought with that ball hitting slowly he could beat it out. He could not. Here comes Dunn.
Nielsen impersonation. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go on the internet and look up Naked Gun. I think it's part 33.5 or something. And he plays an umpire. And he calls balls and strikes like that. I can be honest, Famous Dave's Barbecue is very good.
I had some of the 2 ribs you left over yesterday. Thank you so much. You're coming back on us on Wednesday for us.
I'll make sure you get one of your ribs.
No, Rob, that was very nice of you to leave those 2 ribs.
I'm just thinking about your heart, Bob.
Out of 16.
You're not a spring chicken anymore. Wow.
Adam doesn't mind Feliciano, eh?
Maybe that's not such a great thing by Jerry Manuel.
Well, he's going by the book here. The shift is on.
Well, here's the thing. Pedro doesn't throw that hard, so Dunn's a big man. He's not afraid of the big sidearm curveball.
But I would offer this to you as Dunn swings and misses strike 2. If Justin Maxwell stays at second base and they played this shift, Adam Dunn could ground one past the third base umpire for an RBI. But he's not going to be approaching it that way here because the runner's 90 feet further back now. I'm sure Maxwell thought he could make it to third, but he was wrong. And the 0-2 to Adam. 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Wow. That was a changeup that looked like a breaking ball out of his hands. Then it straightened out.
There's the X-Mo showing you just how violent the pitching motion is, especially on a sidearm curveball by Feliciano.
That ball's well hit to left field, but it's over by the corner, and Pagan has room. And the Nats have stranded 8. The Mets have stranded 10 to the 8th inning in a 2-1 game. Beautiful night at the ballpark. A little chilly. 2-1 Nats into the 8th inning. Jason Bergman's out there for a second inning of work. And Fernando Tatis is 2 for 3. He hooks one, breaks his bat, and it's out of play. Tonight's copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. 2 more home games after tonight. The most home games the Nats could win this year would be 33 if they would sweep this series. That would get them to 55 wins with 4 left in Atlanta. We're being optimistic. The Nats have only won 2 home games since Ryan Zimmerman's walk-off homer against the Marlins 3 weeks ago. It's been a struggle. 2-1.
Just a rough patch. Things have to get better.
Agreed. Great fastball inside corner. Tatis hoping it was ball 3. He was skipping out of there when Brian Runge called it a strike.
2-1 pitch. Nice movement on this 91-mile-an-hour sinking fastball.
Well, Houston putting a hurt on the Phillies tonight, 8-2 at home. And Tatis will pop it up. Gonzalez out. Morse in. Here comes Maxwell. Watch out, Max. That ball's in right field. He should not be cutting in front of his guy when it's that far over. You know, the gap is one thing, but that's straightaway right field.
Justin Maxwell's just acting like Kelly Leak. Bad News Bears.
Yeesh.
Walter Matthau says, catch everything. As Bob said, Justin Maxwell ran all the way over to right field, but Mike Morse.
You know, I know he called the ball, but that's not a gapper. All right, you can all breathe easier now.
You can't say they don't give their best effort, because they do.
Yeah. Bergman throwing the fastball well. 0-2 to Omir Santos, who has flied out to Maxwell 3 times. How about 4? It's by far the best hit of the 4. And 2 outs here in the 8th with Anderson Hernandez coming up. Johnny Holiday. Ray Knight, Nats Extra, presented by Verizon Fios. Ross Detweiler, 6 strong innings tonight. They'll have an inside look. Jim Riggleman addresses the media tonight. And it'll be Mike Pelfrey and J.D. Martin tomorrow. Daniel Murphy will pinch hit for Anderson Hernandez here.
Did you ever think of having an outside look at Ross Detweiler's running?
It's all about maximum excess, Rob.
So that's what I'm telling you. They put a camera in your teeth and then they get that inside look.
Daniel Murphy's done some damage to the Nats this year. He's 6 for 25 with 5 RBIs as a pinch hitter. Straight up it goes. Zimmerman comes in to take charge. And the 8th inning is over for the Mets. A good 6 outs for Jason Bergman. Nats lead 2-1.
7 earned run average. He gets an average run support of 6.23. Coverage begins at 6:30. That's Extra, hosted by Johnny Holiday and Ray the Silver Fox Knight.
Double switch for the Mets. Batting ninth and playing shortstop, Wilson Valdez. Well, now we're told that the changes are straight up, so evidently Bobby Parnell is batting ninth. And they'll pinch hit for him anyway in the top of the ninth because the Mets will be behind. Will the Nats be able to make it more than 2-1? Willingham, Morse, and Bard. And I, for one, can't wait to see the fourth at bat by Mike Morse tonight. Josh Willingham's 0 for 3 with a strikeout.
Well, it just shows you, and Parnell can throw upwards of 100 miles an hour. Speed does not matter at this level. He's given up 99 hits in 85 innings.
If it's 100 and straight, they'll hit it, Ray.
You got to locate it.
Nasty breaking ball, though.
Well, you got to sit on the 95 plus fastball, and it's not easy when he throws a couple of big hooks.
And a 1-2 to Josh. Fastball under his hands.
Marty.
Little curveball happy.
Nats could use a runner, and they'll get one. That's a good at bat by Josh Willingham. And now the offensive star of the night coming up. How about a forward drive of the game back in the 6th inning? Mike Morse going oppo for his 3rd home run.
Well, he's got a lot of talent. He's a big, strong kid. He's forcing his way into the lineup. And he makes a payoff for Jim Riggleman so far tonight. 3 for 3. We're going to get Elijah Dukes running for Willingham.
Morse could end up the game in left field. He's been everywhere else. Parnell gets ahead of him. Now when he hit the home run, it was a count of 2-0. And he was sitting dead red. Singles in the 2nd, the 4th, home run in the 6th. And he's now batting .314. Good heater.
Yeah, that one had some giddy up.
97. This kid only pitched in 6 games at the major league level last year. He just turned 25. 0-2 to Morse. That's a great pick by Santos. When a guy's throwing 92 in the dirt to your right.
Have to believe that was a cutter or a slider. Once again, guy with great stuff, and he's fiddling around with stuff that he can't throw for strikes. They're almost 100 miles an hour. I want to give that one a go before you go to those other ones.
Morris sounded like a broken bat.
Yeah. 95 on the end of the bat. And Bobby.
Well, that's probably the gamer he hit the home run with.
Pick me out a winner.
It's now the bottom of the 8th in Atlanta, and the Braves still lead the Marlins 3-0. And don't forget about the division. With the Phillies trailing big tonight, 8-2, Atlanta would be 4 out in the East. You never know. Hard, down and in. And Morse retired for the first time tonight. Caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, a whole lot more. It's all the authentic Nationals team gear available at the shop, the online shop. It's at nationals.com. Get your gear straight from the source. www.nationals.com. Bring your boss to the game at 4:30 Wednesday. Enlist his help or her help in sneaking out early.
I'll give him a call.
Not that early. 4:30. And Bard rolls a double play ball. Well turned by the Mets. Well picked by Tatis. And we're going to the top of the 9th inning. Nationals lead 2-1. Mike McDougall on the way. Mike Morse will be out of the game, so the pitcher is
No, Morse went first.
Oh, he did go to first.
Morse is playing first.
It's Adam Dunn who's out of the game, so the pitcher is hitting fourth.
Willie Harrison left.
And Willie is in left, and he'll be batting ninth. I like the defense.
This is all young and fast defense.
Debbie Taylor, Mike McDougall, a couple of rough outings lately, but Jim Riggleman doesn't want him to feel badly about that.
No, Jim told me before the game that he is still the closer. He and Steve McCatty had a closed-door meeting with Mike, really to just remind him that, hey, you've had some bad days. It's looked horrible. A lot of things have gone wrong, but you have to just put that behind you. The key is don't walk anybody. Try to get those ground balls. And they just reminded him, you're not a fun guy to hit against.
Not with that wicked moving mid-90s stuff of his. Corey Sullivan, former Colorado Rocky, will be the pinch hitter here in the number 9 hole. That's why the Mets did not make a double switch. They knew they were going to pinch hit here for Bobby Parnell anyway. McDougal gets a strike call. Corey Sullivan as a pinch hitter, 5 for 19 with a couple of RBIs.
That first one was a ball. It's 2-0.
Pardon me, I thought I saw Runge raise the right arm.
He went for it, but he changed his mind.
There's that wicked moving stuff right there.
And it's hard even for the umpire to see the ball when he's throwing it over 90 miles an hour.
Steer 2.
I mean, some of them run like the Dickens, and then that one just stayed on the inner half.
Bouncing ball, Morse aggressively to it and quickly to the bag for the first down. We really liked the way he handled himself over there starting yesterday with Adam Dunn getting a day off. Top of the order now, Pagan and Castillo. Nationals trying to beat the Mets for the 6th time this year. J.D. Martin tomorrow night and Mike Pelfrey.
Wow, that's a pretty good pitch.
Pagan 0 for 1 with 2 walks around a sacrifice tonight.
That's the pepper.
He's late for that one. Had him reaching. Desmond racing to the bag. 2 outs. That kid's got some range. And it'll be Luis Castillo, Mr. Contact himself, with 2 outs and nobody aboard here in the 9th.
Well, as hard as McDougal throws, Bob, you just want to try to hit this guy's bat and make him put it in the air. You could get him to pop up. Running down the first baseline. I don't think many hitters are comfortable against McDougal.
Throwing nothing but strikes. Ian Desmond has it. And Ross Detweiler has won his first major league game with an assist on the save by Mike McDougal. Congratulations, Ross. You deserved it tonight, buddy. And a great night for him and his family and all the folks in Springfield, Missouri and St. Louis. 2-1.